Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk to you about the series finale of DC's Titans. And as the episode, which was called Titans Forever, begins, the Titans are trying to get through a code-locked door as Brother Blood welcomes Trigon into the lair. White Raven shows up in a mental projection to tell Brother Blood that Trigon is lying when he says he will let Brother Blood rule equally with him. Brother Blood, aka Sebastian, then attacks Trigon with his mother's staff after saying that Trigon has something he needs, which apparently is his heart. Having killed Trigon, he then squeezes the juices out of the heart into his mouth, blood or fluid or whatever, and onto his face, which burns on contact. After which he says that Mom and Dad were delicious, but he thinks he still has room left for Raven before attacking the projection, which causes Raven to snap out of it back in the presence of the rest of the Titans, at which point she tells them that Luther Boy is dead. Titans then go to retrieve his body, which they take to the RV as they prepare to inject him with a red kryptonite nitroglycerin epinephrine injection, which apparently Star Labs designed to give to Superman in case he ever died or almost died, but it doesn't have any immediate effect when they, in fact, inject him with it. As the RV and the Titans head to their next destination, Starfire starts reminiscing with Dick about when they first met, which prompts him to say that it sounds like she's saying goodbye, which she replies to by saying that maybe she is, because she seemingly plans to sacrifice herself to stop Brother Blood. The Titans seem to discover that Brother Blood is holed up at some government black site and make a detour there. But once they arrive, including Tim, who arrives back from Metropolis, they're all in costume for some reason, which at this point makes zero sense because, I don't know, the location is abandoned, so who was going to see them? I don't know. But they're immediately confronted, it would seem, by Brother Blood. Raven and Starfire both blast him, and it turns out it was just an illusion of Brother Blood, as it would appear that he is actually at Star Labs in his civilian garb. We then see that Bernard is awake, yay, and that he notices an alert that Brother Blood is in the lobby, and that Brother Blood is apparently looking for access to something called the Icarus Lab just before Brother Blood kills everybody in the lobby in a very bloody way just by touching one of the people there and thinking about killing them all. Bernard then calls the Titans, who are once again out of costume after being in costume for 2 whole minutes, if that, to tell them what's up and what the Icarus Lab is. And apparently it's a wormhole which can be programmed to send any object from an atom to a whole planet anywhere in the universe. But it isn't running because there isn't enough energy on Earth to run it. Upon hearing this, Starfire surmises that what Brother Blood is trying to do is destroy Tamaran, because he can't truly rule until Tamaran is wiped out. And she takes off in Dick's car with Dick in tow after he catches up. Meanwhile, Brother Blood gains access to the Icarus Lab, and when its computer Calliope asks for the password in order to activate the gate, he says those magic words, and apparently that's the password for some reason. When he learns that it's not got enough energy to fully operate, he immediately plans to have it powered by a blast from Starfire, which of course is exactly what she's planning on doing, going there and blasting so as to stop him or blow up the lab or whatever. So the Titans head for the lab once again in full regalia for some reason, I guess because they don't know if they're going to run into civilians at Star Labs. But Corey peels off from them to go in a different direction when she's pulled there by Brother Blood, who's somehow able to control her mind. And we see her walking down the path that she saw in her vision at the beginning of this part of the season. And the rest of the Titans freak out when they realize she's not following them. Bernard lets the team know that he can see her on the monitor outside the Icarus Lab, which is being guarded by metahuman assault squad troops, which Brother Blood commands to let Starfire pass through, after which she enters the lab and wakes up from the mind control that he had her under. Brother Blood then reveals to her that he learned what Trigon's deepest fear was when he drank his blood, and it turns out that that was the people of Tamaran and Earth teaming up against him, which would make them unstoppable. He also tells her that because of this, he plans to destroy both planets so that they can't team up against him, which, you know, wouldn't prevent other planets from teaming up against him. But anyway, goes on to tell her that he wants her to use his power against him so that it will, instead of killing him, power the machine, which the Titans independently realize is his plan. Having arrived at the lab, the Titans take on the supposed metahuman assault squad, which is really just a couple of guys with electric sticks and shields, as they try to get to the lab, with Gar turning into a tiger in a very pathetic fight scene. When Starfire refuses to do anything that would power the gate, Sebastian uses his telekinetics to lock her into a mechanism that starts draining the power from her and piping it into the system. And it's not clear why that system is there, if he created it with his mind or if someone's plan all along was to strap a Tamaranian into, I don't know. Bernard then gets the door to the lab open for the Titans, and the Titans run in, allowing Dick to sucker punch Brother Blood as power to the gate climbs, and White Raven and Tim try to disconnect Starfire from the system. Bernard then tells the team that if they can unplug the 4 cables going directly into the Stargate, Brother Blood won't be able to target anything. So Gar goes about doing that, but struggles to do it for some reason. He finds it really difficult to get those cables out. They're locked in there good. So the question is, why didn't he turn into a gorilla? He then starts getting sucked into the wormhole because he got so close to it, and Tim has to rescue him, while Dick keeps fighting Brother Blood hand to hand, which is insane because Brother Blood previously took out a whole room full of people just by thinking about it. And he could send them all into the wormhole with his mind, apparently. But he's not doing it. Okay. Raven, meanwhile, makes physical contact with Starfire to try to get inside her head for some reason, which wakes her up and suddenly makes it easier for Raven to detach her from the apparatus. I don't know why. All of a sudden, Luther Boy, who we saw kind of coming back to life a little bit earlier in a brief flash of his person lying on the slab back in the RV, enters the chat and zaps Brother Blood with his heat vision, distracting Brother Blood long enough to allow Dick and Beast Boy to pull out the remaining cables just before Luther Boy punches Brother Blood into the Icarus Gate power generator, which seems to do quite a number on him. But when he gets up and is apparently quite pissed at having been defeated, Corey lights up her blue light and grabs him and flies off into the sky, soon after which there's a gigantic explosion where she and Brother Blood used to be. This triggers a flashback to a Christmas past at Wayne Manor, where the Titans toast to all the good things in the future yet to come after Gar spins a yarn about that being what Christmas Eve is all about. After most of the Titans turn to head back inside Star Labs after watching the explosion in shock, Starfire lands alone back at Star Labs in a big orange fireball next to Nightwing, who hadn't quite yet headed back in, none the worse for the wear, after which the two of them have a big old smooch. Later, at a celebratory dinner at some rooftop restaurant, Gar tells the team that he's heading into the red where he feels he's needed, saying that he'll be there back in the real world if ever the Titans need him. Rachel announces that she applied for college when she was just a normal kid for a while, which, how did she have time to do that? I don't know, and will be attending classes in Bloodhaven. Tim then announces that he'll also be spending some of his time near there in Metropolis with Bernard. And Luther Boy announces that he's going to Metropolis as well because Superman wants to spend time with him and maybe teach him how to fly, which, in a flash forward, allow the audience to see Superman's boots, as well as Connor with a full head of hair again. Connor and Dick then have a conversation in which Connor says that he's not sure he's the man that Clark wants him to be because of all the line crossing that he did this season, but Dick tells him that it makes a difference whether he did it to serve himself or to serve other people, because the real bad guys don't even ever ask themselves that question. Dick and Corey then take a walk by themselves as Dick recounts to her what Brother Blood said about Tamaran and humans being unstoppable if ever they got together, even though he wasn't there to hear it, which leads him to say that maybe he and Starfire should do just that, being that he's human and she's a Tamaranian. We then get a really quick flash forward of Connor with a full head of hair, kind of sort of flying, which is massively, massively too little too late. And that's where the episode in the series ends. And I don't know, I mean, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but, you know, it was kind of lame because Trigon has been built up to be this big bad over the course of 4 seasons to varying degrees. And when he shows up, Brother Blood just beats the crap out of him with a stick. And then he tries to use the Icarus Gate, which we have no idea how he knows about it. leading to a lame fight scene between the guards and the Titans, which would again seem to be the only reason that they put the costumes on, complete with masks, in two cases, because nobody but Brother Blood, who knows who they all are, saw them. And then a ridiculous fight scene between Brother Blood and the Titans, given that, as I said earlier, Brother Blood had, in the episode, had reduced a whole room of people to corpses just by thinking about it while touching one of the people, when he could have just used his telekinesis to blow them all into the wormhole. Then we had all this tension about, will he succeed? Won't he succeed? Are they going to be able to detach the cables, which Beast Boy and then later Beast Boy and Tim struggled to do, even though, as I said, Beast Boy could easily have turned into a silverback gorilla or like some animal with super sharp claws, such as, I don't know, the tiger he's turned into multiple times, or a velociraptor, for crying out loud, which could have just sliced the cables in the middle somewhere, if not at the attached end. Then they had to do a rush job of wrapping up the individual Titans members' storylines, which I was saying last week they were going to have to do, which I guess worked, but like it still felt tacked on, which, makes them not the first show to have tacked on an ending that basically just gives us a blurb about what the characters plan to do going forward at the end of a season or a series as a sort of nice little bow on the storyline. But still, I don't know. I guess they were always going to do that, even if the season had been fantastic. But like, it felt so tacked on. I don't know. It could have been worse, but it also could have been much better. And I say that referring to the entire series as well as this finale and season. But that's it. That's a wrap on the series. And, I don't think it'll be long before I forget ever having watched it, quite frankly. Next up is the rest of the final season of Doom Patrol, which hopefully will be better, but only time will tell. I'm going to get out of here for now. I will, of course, be back to review the final episodes of Doom Patrol, as well as give you other videos. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.